Hello, everybody. This is Colin White from Martechers with another installment of the Martech Minute. And today I'm pleased to be joined by Ronny Gotthard Christensen. He is the CEO and founder of Aesir Context Marketing. Thanks for joining me today, Ronny.
Thank you very much, Colin. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Now, Ronny, I first met with representatives of your company, Aesir Context Marketing, at the Martech conference here in Boston recently. I found the concept very intriguing, so I'm glad you agreed to do the interview here. To set the stage a little bit, let's talk about context marketing. How do you guys define that term?
Actually, I'd like to look away from technology a little and then say, let's say you walk into any physical store in the US. When you get in the door, then there will be a clerk or someone working in the store. When they see you go into the store, then based on the impression and perception they get of you, based on the background knowledge, information they have, and based on their experience in working in that organization, they will try to be as meaningful as humanly possible to you. They will try to increase the relevancy of the interaction and of the communication they have with you. And that is fundamental to be contextual aware of your marketing. So whether it's an employee talking to a potential client, or whether it's a newsletter, it's a segmented newsletter where we try to shoot the right emails to the right people. Well, then on the websites, it's pretty much the same. Instead of having websites with many different tunnels and funnels where we try to put people into some areas where it's more relevant for them, then with a contextual marketing platform, you're able to personalize and differentiate the same web pages so they're more meaningful and more relevant for people. At the end of the day, we're facilitating technology that with a lot of common sense enables web platforms, websites, content marketing, e-commerce, etc., to be applied on the exact same level as you would in a physical store.
Okay. So personalization seems to be a key part of it, obviously. So I just know from my experience as a marketer, there's been marketing automation platforms around obviously for a while now. They all talk about personalization, having dynamic content and dynamic email. Yeah. Is that sort of the first generation of context marketing in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it is, but it's also highly focused on social media. It's highly focused on email. So if you look at a lot of the products on the market, Infusionsoft, HubSpot, Marketo, or even Click Dimensions, Campaign Monitor, well, even MailChimp and other pure mail solutions from earlier years are now diverging into the same market area, actually. Mm-hmm. And all of them are very much focused on being able to send out relevant email to relevant people, or collecting the leads from social media and then following up on emails. Or if you implement a small form to collect people in your newsletter, or when people sign up for a white paper download, etc., then you will get some people you know. So once you go to a point where you're actually converting maybe 4 or 5% of your visitors into someone you know because you have them in your marketing automation platform, then you can be able to do what is called account-based marketing.
Right.
And account-based marketing is contextual marketing generation 1.0. What we do is very different, because from the first time anyone visits our website, without any prior knowledge at all, we take their geographical information. If it's business to business, we take their company enrichment based on their IP addresses. We take their language, the device info. We take their actual behavioral patterns across the website. So as they move around on the website, their behavior will clearly and significantly will show specific patterns of what they're interested in, and how we can better accommodate a more meaningful and a high relevancy in the way we communicate with people.
Okay.
So since I can do this from the first visit, then my target range, when I talk about contextual marketing, is 100% of the visitors. I don't have to ignore the first 96% to get down to 4% I can then use account-based marketing on. I can be contextual aware on all the visitors.
Right.
That also means that if you integrate our Aesir platform into one of the marketing automation platforms, and we actually use Aesir to present the right message to the right people at the right point, we can actually increase the 4% you're able to work with account-based marketing to maybe 8%, 10%, 12%, or 15% or 20%.
Okay.
Because it's more likely likely we get people to sign up to a state where we will actually identify the individual person and be able to track them. Another interesting point is if you send out an email in one of the marketing automation platforms, then the individual email is of course tracked on user level. So then when you click something and it goes to the website, then we can actually create a small plugin in the Aesir contextual marketing platform that will read exactly who this user is and put it into the individual visitor flow. So all the visitors you then get back from your marketing automation flow, you will actually be able to do even more on the website, and you can completely personalize and cater to experience both for known and unknown entities on your website.
Okay, so the tie into account-based marketing is pretty obvious, and that was one of the questions I had for you, and you explained that very well. A lot of the account-based marketing platforms that are out there now that have been emerging the last few years are very focused on advertising, right? And personalized advertising to deliver that right content outside of your website. It sounds like you're more focused on your website. Is that accurate?
Yes, and I think we are probably the only ones that are focused entirely on the website right now.
Yeah.
There is an ocean of platforms and solutions in the market that covers everything but the website.
Right.
Then there are a few players who try via very complex JavaScript image overlays and stuff like that to give you some possibilities of trying to personalize some landing pages on your website. But let me tell you this, if it's not native in the web platform, if your web platform does not have the ability to work natively with contextual awareness, so it goes deep into the business intelligence and actually responds in real time, then it's not going to fly. You're not going to get the success you can with this sort of technology.
Right.
So I believe that our role as the very web-centric platform that brings in generation 2 of contextual awareness is to integrate to the full or the wide-scale value chain for the individual customer. That also means if it's e-commerce, well, then we're integrating to the ERP system. We're integrating to the CRM system. But let's consider a model where every time a client from a specific industry visits your website, even if you don't know who they are, and they go above a 70% engagement level because their actions are so interesting, then we actually send them over to the CRM system as a new account with a new opportunity on it, and then we split them out throughout all of US for different key account managers. So depending on where they come in from, what their behavior is, etc., we can actually target them directly into your Salesforce or any other your dynamic CRM, and so the people in your sales organization, marketing organizations will be able to work with pure gold. And that's just the accidental outcome of actually being web-centric. It's a side effect. It's not even where the real magic is happening.
Interesting stuff. So unfortunately, we're running out of time here a little bit. What's the best way for people who are interested in learning more about Aesir to get in touch with you? Do you have a trial or a proof of concept you can set up? Tell me a little bit more about how to best engage with you guys.
Well, what we do is we're on our AesirContextMarketing.com, we write a lot of content marketing about what we do and how to work with things and how to improve the way you work with things. We are a very partner-based organization, which means that actually in a few weeks we're going to open up our partner index on our website, which means that we will have a wide range of partners around the world. We are launching the first partners in Canada and the US as well, both solution partners and content partners. So we have more and more, and to be honest, we have quite a big queue of partners signing up right now. So we're processing them in batches, but we will have more and more local partners you can reach out to. But beyond that, we're happy to do go-to meetings. We're happy to demonstrate what it can do, etc. At the end of the day, when we work with contextual marketing, it is very, very important to remember that to really create a contextual marketing platform where you create effects of conversion increases of 3, 4, 5, 600%, we need to start at the point where we do persona segments, analysis, and we utilize models, etc., to get so close into the mental decision process of your potential customers. Because if we understand your potential customers and where they are in their decision journeys, then we can create user experience journeys that are matching a resolution of the pain points they will have in their psychological buying processes. And if we do that and build an Aesir contextual marketing platform around that, then to be honest, all the customers we've launched so far, we have not created a single customer that did not have at least a 300% conversion increase.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, but it's also very natural. I mean,
Yeah.
when you go from a one-size-fits-all monologue-based website to a contextual aware web platform, to be quite honest, you could be sleeping with one arm tied to the back, and you would still do 300% better
Right.
because the difference is so big. It's a completely new way of building websites. In 2 to 3 years, this is the standard. But the interesting part about being an early adopter and doing it now is that when you transform your company into being focused on demand changes or changes in behavior in the demand end of the market, and you then respond to that by changing and personalizing, differentiating your website, that also affects the way you do business in general, because you really get an outside-in perspective. And when you then start to launch new products or services based on changes in actual demand, because you get that much insight out of it, then your entire company will do a lot more and be a lot more successful and do a lot more business, basically because you leave some of your old known truths, your stories you tell yourself about the usual suspects, and you start to actually listen to changes in demand instead.
Right.
And that is it's an epiphany when you see customers looking at their own visitor flows and getting insights. I mean, maybe they were used to converting 1%. So the 99% of all the visitors, they never knew anything about, and now they're looking, wow, this segment, which is 9 times bigger than those we converted, we can actually get them to be customers. If we facilitate the right information at the right level to get them through the door. So it's an eye-opener of epic dimensions for the actual companies when they sit and look at their own data. It is so interesting. And I'm so thrilled to get the opportunity to sit out there and put my fingers into organizations and look at their data and be a part of their transformation as to work their way into this. It's an amazing experience.
Now, how quickly can you get those kind of insights once you get your platform up and running? I mean, is it a weeks-long process, months long, years long?
What we usually say is that the entire process until launch is a story-driven approach. We will facilitate, we will talk to you, we will try and pull out all the companies' information, historical data, best customers, best selling products, etc., etc. Then when we apply all of that and we launch the first website, then we say, well, we do a second meeting 8 weeks in. So after 8 weeks, we have so much data, so we're able to say something quite meaningful about where should we start. And then we continue going back and sitting together with the customer. We get wiser together. I mean, we don't know people's organizations and companies or products when we start. That's a running process. But at the same time, it's also a process where the organizations learn about the new possibilities. And over time, over the first 3 to 6 months, we see customers send us mailer calls us up more and more with new ideas to how they could be more meaningful in a contextual aware context or scenario. And that is a really important aspect for us, is that we as a platform supplier or as a supplier in general, we're digital birth helpers. In many ways, we see our platform as being the ideal facilitator of a digital rebirth, where we also give the companies, organizations a tool set where they can work themselves. They can actually learn to work it. A really funny example is Google Analytics. We did a survey in Denmark showing that 100% of all companies in Denmark use Google Analytics. 99% of these did only log in at a maximum 1 time a month, and they looked at if the curve went up or down, then they logged out and didn't use it. So if that's one of your systems in your value chain, and you're actually not using the data for anything, then you have dead data, you have dead systems. So we pull all these data into the platform so you can utilize them. When you write the next content marketing article or do the next landing page, you can see all the statistical data, all your conversion data. You can see which people has looked at your old. Let's say I did an article 2 years ago that has generated a revenue of $1 million. Well, if I'm writing a new article tomorrow, I surely will be learning from my own experiences in the article I did 1 year ago. So the ability to actually touch and measure and make it tangible what it is, what sort of value you're creating and how you're doing it, is a really, really important factor in terms of helping organizations and people to create more value and consistently learn from their own experiences.
Yeah, well, marketing, as we all know, is has been transitioning to a more data-driven exercise for years now, and you can look at the average tenure of CMOs being I think a year and a half or something like that right now. If they're not able to provide results and show data on how their programs are affecting pipeline and revenues, they're going to be out the door. So it seems like solutions.
But there's also a really interesting risk here, Colin, because if you hire a digital marketing specialist and they create content elements on your web platform that generates a revenue of $10 million a year, they might be a little troublesome to negotiate salary with the year after, right?
Right.
So measuring and showing the value you create, I mean, that's actually one of the gray areas through many years in our line of business, is that sometimes we've been doing an amazing work, but it's been so non-tangible to see the results. So now we can actually show them on the screen and then go back to our partners, our customers, our employers and say, listen, we did this and this and this. It created this value. We're actually doing a really good job. And I think for many CEOs, for instance, they've been seeing the websites and e-commerce, they've been seeing them as a cost. Well, we need to be there, but it's a cost. So they're really not dedicated. Once you actually get the numbers into the board meetings that shows how much income it generates, then it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Ronnie, we're run out of time, so I'd like to close here. Your website is aesircontextmarketing.com. I would encourage anybody who's interested to visit your site, and I'm sure they can get in touch with you there. Thanks very much for joining us here on the Martech Minute, and we wish you luck in the future.
Thank you very much for having me, Colin, and all the best from here also. Thank you.
Okay, have a great weekend. Thank you. Thanks for joining us for this Martech Minute with Aesir Context Marketing. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about Aesir Context Marketing, visit their website at www.aesircontextmarketing.com. Thanks again, and we hope to see you soon on another Martech Minute.